Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife, Marie. And you are going in Smackdown Live.
Hey, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell next to it. Make sure you always got your new Going Around notifications. NXT Invades Smackdown, man.
And show. Have a good night, everybody.
Holy crap. That was probably the most fun episode of SmackDown I've ever seen, at least since the Attitude Era.
Yeah, probably.
That was an absolute blast. That is how invasions are done. Give it up to whomever. In WWE creative concocted that particular 2-hour script.
There was brain trust at Buffalo this morning once the word got out, or they found out that basically everybody was stuck in Saudi Arabia for the foreseeable future. So you probably had Hunter, Vince. Hell, maybe HBK was in there. Probably not. He probably came up with everybody else from Orlando. Pritchard, who knows?
So for those who don't know, there were some issues with the majority of the talent that went to Crown Jewel, that went to Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel.
It was
getting back home.
Yeah, late last night, Sean Ross Sapp started breaking news about how I think the number was 175. Roster members, production crew, WB staff boarded their flight to get back here to the States. They were taking a flight straight from Riyadh to go to Buffalo to make it for SmackDown in time.
Yeah.
And for the official explanation was mechanical issues with the plane.
Right.
There's been some dispute about that. For whatever reason, that plane never left.
Yeah.
And a good portion of the talent's staff, production crew, I think Mustafa Ali, as of a few minutes ago, was tweeting about how it looks like they're hopefully finally about to take off. My understanding is there was about 12 roster members who were able to take a separate charter flight. According to WWE, they chartered that plane themselves.
Yeah.
There's a group of about 20, about 12 roster members and 8, I guess, production producers, staffs, whatever. Vince got out 3 hours prior to the other charter flight with all the other talent. Hogan and Lesnar all made it out.
Hogan and Lesnar all.
Flair, I think. Flair was on the same flight as Hogan, I think.
Yeah, and so they all got out of there. And so there was word throughout the day. There was all sorts of scrambling going on. I know this was broken to me anyways via Dave Meltzer. He posted something that said, I believe, that NXT talent have been chartered from Orlando to Buffalo where SmackDown was. What we got tonight was a full-on NXT invasion of SmackDown. Now, whether this was supposed to happen piecemeal over the next couple of weeks in the build, because obviously yesterday during Crown Jewel it was announced that NXT would be involved in Survivor Series along with Raw and SmackDown for the brand warfare thing.
That would be my suspicion, yes.
So we don't really know. We'll probably find out either, I would imagine, in the newsletter next week.
I think because John Pollock, right before we started, just tweeted that the charter flight from Orlando to get the NXT talents up to Buffalo landed at 7:55. That's 5 minutes. 5 minutes before SmackDown went live.
Which obviously you would think from that, if that's true, and John Pollock's really good, he knows the stuff, you would think that this was not meant to happen this way.
This was an emergency situation.
Yeah.
So considering that especially, I mean, I'm hoping that Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan were texting throughout the day, but to think that they probably sat down in the span of 2 hours, maybe worked some stuff out to give us an incredible main event.
Yeah.
Testament to their brilliance as pro wrestlers.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing this forever.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Not surprising at all.
Amazing.
They're great.
So, yeah, there's a lot to get through. Just the NXT aspect of it alone. I would suspect that this was not in the cards. This is something a last-minute thing. But as we said, especially you've said before, when you hold WWE's creative's feet to the fire, whether it be due to illness, travel issues, whatever, that's when they tend to deliver.
When plans change unexpectedly, they are forced to be creative to a degree that they aren't usually when they lay their plans down. We've seen this. Finn Balor forced to fight AJ Styles instead of Bray Wyatt. 2 years ago, and that was a banger of a match. It was a dream match, Bullet Club leader versus Bullet Club leader. We've seen this happen a million different times. When plans go awry, usually WWE, when they're forced to think on their feet, they do pretty darn well for themselves. And tonight was no different.
I mean, you look at the new stipulation, a new angle on for Survivor Series with NXT getting added to the mix. It makes all the sense in the world to go in this direction. And you mentioned during the show, well, it entirely possible they could have fumbled this entire thing. They could have screwed this all up.
For sure, yeah.
They didn't, though.
Yeah.
They got it right.
Yeah. I don't know how anybody. It's funny because there are people in chat here that are saying Nikhail says checked WWE's Twitter. Somehow people hated this episode. I'm not sure if that's the case. That's bizarre to me because NXT is basically. I know AEW is kind of like the internet wrestling community's darling right now, but NXT is pretty darn up there.
To paraphrase local sports announcing legend Grant Napier, if you don't like tonight's SmackDown, you don't like sports entertainment.
That's true. Yeah, if you don't like tonight's SmackDown, you don't like pro wrestling. That's it. That's period. That's it. If you don't like it, go find something else because this was absolutely amazing. Grant Napier, he's often that harsh too. I'm sorry, if you don't like that, then you should go find something else.
If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
But I mean, it's totally true. It's totally true. This is the kind of dream matchup scenario that WWE is sitting on, and we never got it, and we got it all over tonight. We got it all over tonight. I never thought I'd wake up today and see Adam Cole facing off against Daniel Bryan in the middle of a SmackDown ring. If you have anything negative to say about tonight's episode, then you don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on. Not only we never think this would happen, we never think it would happen for the NXT Championship.
For the championship
in the main event.
And Adam Cole goes over clean. He goes over clean.
There's at least 3 times during that match I was like, okay, here comes Redragon and Roddy to break this up.
Didn't happen.
No.
Only Roderick was there, and he didn't show up. He just showed up to help him in the entrance or to
wish him well as he walked his way down the ring and then to say, good job,
at the celebration in the end. If you don't like this, what are you even doing watching pro wrestling anymore? If any of these guys come out and say, oh, this is crap, whatever, why are you even watching wrestling if you're not into this tonight? Just stop. Find something else if you didn't like this.
Calm down. I'm
telling you, man. I don't want to hear crap about this.
Calm down.
If you didn't like this, stop watching wrestling and go do something else.
Maybe the issue is
maybe take up gardening.
Maybe the issue is they don't watch NXT.
Well, then maybe they should be.
I mean, apparently only about 700,000 people are watching. So the odds are pretty good if anybody's talking crap. Maybe they're watching NXT. Watch NXT.
That could be. That could be.
Maybe the problem is they should. Maybe the solution isn't stop watching wrestling. Maybe the solution is watch more wrestling. There you go.
Oh, man.
Anyways, but we had heard that one of the ideas about getting NXT involved in Survivor Series could raise the profile of NXT. You have the NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler laying out Bayley. You have Adam Cole beating Daniel Bryan clean in the main event. Tommaso Ciampa's there. He won a match. I don't want to spoil everything at the head of the episode because people will stop watching. But NXT talents throughout, they all went over.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was great. So anyways, maybe I need to smoke some weed or something.
You need to calm down, man. You're too hype.
Nah, I like it, man. You know why, dude? Because here's the thing. Like, I love when wrestling gets people like motivated,
energized.
I love it when there's something that happens that's so entertaining and so off the charts. It gets people excited.
Yeah.
I understand. There's always got to be people out there who are like negative Nellies about stuff, but it's like it's kind of infuriating. It's like, man, why are you even bothering anymore? If that's the case, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else. I mean, this is what Nikhail's saying.
It's because they have a platform.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
They do. Anyways, let's get into it. I'm sure there's plenty to talk about here. In fact, I know there is. Kick off the show, we see the commentary team for the night, and it's great. Tom Phillips showing no signs of bitterness being banished to NXT UK.
This was one of my favorite bits, is when you did your brief impression of Tom Phillips getting the call for tonight. Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
So the plane, the entire commentary team for SmackDown is still on a tarmac in Saudi Arabia. Can you come do SmackDown tonight?
Oh, really?
So you need me now, huh? It was actually a really fun commentary team. Him, Aiden English, and Renee.
It was great.
And they did such a spectacular job.
It was great.
They did such a great job.
It was great.
Yeah.
Open show, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman. Brock showed up. Probably was on the first flight out of Buffalo back to Canada after this. So Heyman comes out.
I just realized SmackDown hasn't even started on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And we just put out this notification using a thumbnail.
But you know what? Maybe people will see that as like, oh, I need to watch NXT or I need to watch SmackDown tonight because something's really going to happen.
I'm going to get some tweets, man.
Whatever.
I apologize.
There's instances you didn't post any spoilers as far as matches or anything. We didn't finish the main event. Just maybe on happenstance. Oh, maybe Adam Cole's driving through Buffalo for the night and just popped in. Who knows? They don't know.
I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart.
They don't know.
I'm
telling you, if I saw that notification, I'm like, oh, snap. NXT is on SmackDown. I have to watch now. I wouldn't be like, oh, Steve, you bastard. You jerk.
Yeah, people do call me that.
I know, but this is for me. I'm trying to set your mind at ease, man.
All right.
Anyways, Lesnar and Heyman come out, and Paul says that Brock is pissed off. He didn't exactly explain why initially. Instead, he threw to the entire Brock Lesnar Cain Velasquez match of Crown Jewel. They showed the entire 2 minutes match, 2 minutes and 5 seconds, I believe.
Yeah.
Come back from the match, and he says the reason Brock is upset is because Ray got involved. He throws to more video. We're like, oh, great clip show. And it's the video of Ray beating up Brock with a chair.
Yeah, we were kind of we're not freaked out. We were kind of like, oh, man, I'm going to need more of these beers.
It'd be a filler.
Because we thought it was just going to be a Crown Jewel.
I thought there was going to be like a 2-hour
recap
version of Crown Jewel, essentially, edited down. So they come back from that video, and Paul says he went to Vince, and he wants Vince to serve Ray up on a platter to Brock.
Yeah.
But problem is, Ray is not on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Ray is on Raw. Paul says, well, guess what? Brock is going to show up on Raw because as of right now, he is officially quitting SmackDown. I guess this is how they get around the fact that both their top belts are on SmackDown, is that Brock just quits and is going to go to Raw because he wants to.
Yeah. So it seemed like Bray was drafted to SmackDown. And
Yeah.
He's a SmackDown superstar. It seems like the Universal Championship is now coming to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which I'll put it this way. On one hand, I'm pretty happy about that just because there isn't going to be a weird thing where within the next month or so, Seth's got to grab that belt back from Bray to get him back on SmackDown where we all figured he would land.
Who, Bray?
Bray.
Oh, yeah.
To keep that Universal title on Raw.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen, which I like. I'm okay with the way they pulled
It's
this
fine.
off.
At least it wasn't clumsy.
Could there have been a more dramatic way to do it? Perhaps. But I thought this was fine. It was kind of a shocking, oh, wow, things are changing.
And it fits into Brock's MO, is that he just does what he wants.
Brock does what Brock wants to do.
Yeah.
The WWE title is now going to, and there's sort of a tradition of this. We've seen the big gold belt swap brands from the WWE title.
The problem then was that neither of the belts had a bright red strap.
Which, again, gives me hope that maybe they're just simply going to rebrand. The Fiend, while he has the title, is going to rebrand it.
Bright blue.
Or remember that really awesome title that Bray Wyatt had like a year ago?
Yeah, but it still was kind of red.
Was it? I thought it was more like wasn't it like snakeskin and stuff?
Yeah, but I think it was like red snakeskin.
Was
I
it?
Thought.
I'm going to take a look.
Go
at
ahead.
that.
I thought it was still.
But he had rebranded, or he had gotten like a custom WWE title.
It was still a warmer hue. I believe it definitely wouldn't fit into the color palette of SmackDown, which is blue.
Let's see here.
If I remember correctly,
had that title.
Yeah, post that.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty red, huh?
But it wasn't. I mean, look.
It's not as bright as it.
If there wasn't, that's pretty
rust.
weathered. That's rust. See, I would be totally okay with that, and I think even that is fine for SmackDown.
I think our idea on the stream was sound Starfield with.
It looks less red there.
Yeah, it looks more brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they do that, that'd be
Depending
okay.
on the picture, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Yeah, so that right there, that's a good representation right there.
Yeah.
That I think would be cool.
I just saw that. The only time I ever saw it was that first picture show. It looks very red. Anyways, apparently Brock's quit. He's going to take the WWE title over to Raw. Universal title is going to stay on SmackDown, which is cool. It's always nice when they kind of trade belts.
Yeah, I like it.
It mixes things up a little
different.
bit. So we cut backstage. Brock and Paul, they're leaving. And as they leave, camera pans over, and there's Triple H and HBK. And as Shawn Michaels is often wont to do, decked out in full NXT regalia.
That dude is all about
hat,
the future, man.
Jacket, probably NXT underwear.
Yeah, on his Walkman, he's listening to "We Are Not Your Kind" on loop.
Probably,
or all the theme songs of the WWE, the NXT Superstars.
Probably, maybe Undisputed Era is borrowing his CD, and they just have it on repeat on their own theme when they're driving around Orlando.
Or it's skipping. Who knows?
Could be. It could be. Who knows?
Boy, that was the most frustrating thing in the world. Listening to a banger of a song and then,
or just skip back to one little part.
You hear it struggling in there.
I know.
We're old. Anyways, so yeah, like you said, Triple H, HBK.
So you know something's afoot.
Yeah, they're snooping in there like it's Scooby-Doo Adventures.
I know.
Right now.
I know.
Anyways, before we move on, before we get to the next bit, here's a word from the sponsor for today's episode, HelloFresh. Let me ask you something, Larson.
What?
Do you feel like you make the same 5 things for dinner week after week, year after year, decade after decade? I see you coming in here for lunch with the same thing all the time, so I know your answer.
Yeah, there's been times in the past I have felt that way, but with HelloFresh, I have stepped out of my dinner rut thanks to their chef-curated recipes. There's really something from everyone, from family recipes to vegetarian, and each recipe comes, this is the best part, with step-by-step instructions with pictures. Pictures. I'm a visual learner. I need the pictures.
Yeah, man.
And pre-measured ingredients, and it's all shipped directly to your door.
That's right. HelloFresh makes cooking delicious meals at home a reality, regardless of your comfort in the kitchen. With HelloFresh, you can say goodbye to endless trips to the grocery store and wasting money on takeout food because they provide you with everything you need to get a wow-worthy meal on the table in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we had a chance to try HelloFresh, and it was excellent. There's a huge variety of recipes, and the food has been awesome. I really like the beef bulgogi. That was fantastic.
Yep.
And everything has been super easy to cook thanks to those pictures on those recipe cards. I love the pictures.
And right now, for a limited time, friendos can get 9 free meals with HelloFresh by going to HelloFresh.com/GoingInRaw9 and entering promo code, so it's GoingInRaw and then the number 9.
Again, 9 meals for free by going to HelloFresh.com/GoingInRaw9 and using promo code GoingInRaw9, Going in Raw, all one word, number 9, no spaces whatsoever. Thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going in Raw by going to HelloFresh.com/GoingInRaw9 and using promo code GoingInRaw9.
Let HelloFresh take over your kitchen.
Yes.
And invade your recipe rut.
Yes. There you go. There you go.
So the first matchup, as announced earlier today from the terrific WWE on Fox Twitter account, Bayley,
they do some great work over there,
defending her WWE SmackDown Women's Championship against Nikki Cross. Figured this would be a banger of a match, and sure enough,
yeah,
it was.
Every match tonight delivered.
Mm-hmm.
For sure,
Absolutely.
for sure. Let's get to it. Nikki starts with some roll-ups, trying to get a quick win. Bayley kicks out of all of them, and then she finally gets the upper hand for a bit with a knee right to the gut.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly thereafter, Nikki sends Bayley from the ring with a Hurricane Rana. Follows with a DDT on the floor. We go to commercial. We come back. Bayley now has the upper hand. They go ringside. They're brawling out there a little bit. And then Bayley rams Nikki into the ring steps. Action goes back into the ring. Bayley charges towards Nikki. Nikki gets out of the way. Bayley runs headfirst to the second turnbuckle. Nikki now has the advantage. Hits a fun splash. Later hits a bulldog. Goes up top. Hits a top rope fun splash. Not enough to beat Bayley. She kicks out. Nikki drapes Bayley on the top rope. Sasha gets up on the apron. Nikki, focused towards Sasha, knocks her off the apron. This allows Bayley to get down. She knees Nikki. She follows with a Macho Man-esque top rope elbow.
Yeah.
Nikki kicks out at 2. Nikki is on the outside. Bayley slides. Nikki does that thing where she pulls the apron back, so when they slide, they go between the ring and the apron. She does that, starts laying into Bayley. We're back in the ring. Nikki goes to the top. Rest checking on Bayley. Sasha pushes Nikki off the top rope. Bayley hits what I thought was a new finish. However, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp said on Twitter that was her finish in the Indies.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I love when they do that, when
I
they
know.
bring stuff back.
Yes.
That's cool.
In her pre-NXT days.
Yeah, that's neat.
Rose Plant, it was what it was called.
Okay.
Hits that for the win. So she really didn't have time to celebrate. Camera cuts over to Sasha. She's clapping. Out from the crowd comes Shayna, probably fresh from the police escort that drove her to the arena.
Yeah.
And she just pushes Sasha right into the ring post.
Yeah.
And then for sure we know something is afoot.
Oh, yeah.
And then she gets in the ring, knees Bayley, tosses Nikki Cross from the ring, tosses Bayley into the ring post while still inside the ring, hits a gut-wrench suplex on Bayley, hits her with another knee, puts the title over her shoulder, poses in the ring.
Oh, my. Dude, and the crowd was just yelling NXT at the
NXT,
top of their
NXT.
lungs. What a lucky Buffalo crowd,
I know.
man, to be there tonight.
And they did it right because each segment built on the last. It continued the momentum that NXT had throughout the show.
Exactly
so you had that where
correct.
Shayna just comes in at the end of a match, beats up everybody, and poses. So the next segment, we have Kathy Kelly interviewing Sami Zayn. And Sammy's like, well, I wonder why NXT is here. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't stick their nose where it doesn't belong. In walks Bro. Matt Riddle.
Bask in his glory.
Keith Lee. And then Sammy's like, oh, hi, I love NXT.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in NXT, they said I was the heart of NXT.
You know, he really should have told him that he used to be NXT champion.
I know.
He was for a bit.
He was.
And then he was like, you know, I even got this on. And then he does it, and it's just like a black shirt.
Yeah, and then I think Matt Riddle says, that's just a plain black T-shirt.
It's a black T-shirt, dude. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was eating a salad. I had an oil-based.
Well, he said it was really oily dressing. He didn't want to get it on the shirt, so he took it off.
Yeah. And so he's like, but it's in my car. And they're like, okay, well, show us.
It's like, okay, I'll go get it.
Stay here. Don't follow me. They do follow him.
Yeah.
He makes a run for it. They take chase. He goes out to the ring. They
follow.
They follow. They grab him. They destroy him. He eats a brostone. And then Keith Lee gets up, does a moonsault.
Yeah, man.
And it's the best thing ever.
It's pretty amazing.
It's absolutely fantastic.
There's this great bit when they're kind of cornering Sammy in the ring. You have Keith Lee on one side, Riddle on the other. You know, he kicks his slides off, and there's one kind of in the middle of the ring, and Sammy picks it up. It's like, here's your shoe.
Here's your
And
shoe
Matt Riddle's
back.
like, nope.
Kind of interesting, though. I didn't know what level of clearance Sami Zayn had
Yeah, I know.
to wrestle. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Apparently he's got enough clearance to eat a
couple
brostone.
bumps, yeah.
And, some bumps, basically, yeah.
Yeah, because it was shoulder issues.
Was it a shoulder?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think his shoulders aren't still quite right.
Okay.
So for that, I would think, depending on the nature of the shoulder injury, because it was rotator cuffs, I think. So I think
okay.
taking bumps would be fine as any sort of this
Yeah.
motion stuff. So long as, like, imagine doing like a Michinoku driver, maybe in a Blue Thunder Bomb might
Maybe the
be an
doctor
issue.
that clears people he's still on the tarmac also. So,
Maybe.
So yeah. Anyways, that was a really great
That was
bit.
great. Next, Miz TV. Initially, the special guest was supposed to be Bray Wyatt.
So confirmed teleportation abilities, has some sort of range limit.
Yes, I was going to say, we can't discount it out of hand.
No. I'm saying
There's a range, yes.
There's a range limit, 100 yards, 50 yards, a mile, maybe 2 miles, not
Thousands? No.
not overseas.
Not thousands, no. Thousands of miles is a bridge too far.
Apparently, yeah.
So it's Miz TV with special guest The Miz.
Yeah.
You know, another chair and a mic in there for somebody. So at first, Miz, he kind of explains, Bray is supposed to be here or not, but here, let's see what happens at Crown Jewel. They show a recap package of the ending was satisfying. We watched the main event, Crown Jewel. The match itself's kind of ho-hum.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Lady Fortune here in chat says, by the way, just in case people wondered why some people from NXT were missing, example, the rest of Undisputed Era, Gargano perhaps.
There's a live event tonight, right?
That's what Lady Fortune was saying. NXT did have a live show going at the same time, so they didn't want to mess up their card too much, which also reminds me they totally did their Halloween Battle Royal thing.
Last night.
Looked pretty great. I think Shane Thorne dressed up as... I want to say, I think Rhea Ripley was like Triple H.
Yeah, she was Triple H.
Shane Thorne, I want to say was like China or somebody was China.
Someone else was Rhea Ripley.
Maybe that was Shane.
No, it wasn't Shane Thorne. It was somebody
Okay.
else.
All right.
Cassius Ohno came as a panda. He had another
Yes,
inflatable
a
costume.
Giant. It was even bigger than the dinosaur.
And then
one.
someone dressed up as Finn Ballerina.
Yeah.
I think it was Jesse Alaban.
Oh, is that who that was? Okay.
And then Shayna was Darth Shayna.
Yeah, which was great. She did the
pretty
whole.
funny.
Yeah, it was
pretty
awesome.
Anyways, get back to SmackDown. Miz says, brings up NXT. He says, I actually like this NXT invasion so far. Enter Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
You will not survive.
Yeah. So he gets on the mic and he's like, "You're everything wrong. You're everything that's wrong with Raw and SmackDown. You're out here. I'm literally breaking my neck, showing how good I am, and you're just playing a part. I am the part, boy."
Yeah, and he calls himself the greatest sports entertainer of all time.
It's fantastic.
Miz says, I've been hearing that for the last 15 years. I was hoping you, Tommaso Ciampa, would come with something original. And then he tells Ciampa, hey, you're here. Make a statement. Mm-hmm. And Ciampa says, those sound like fighting words. Mm-hmm. And Miz responds, you, me, right now.
Or at least after this
commercial break.
All right.
And sure enough, we get The Miz taking on Tommaso Ciampa. It's a pretty decent back and forth match. On one hand, it would have been cool if Tommaso Ciampa would have wiped the floor with The Miz. Not that I have any issue with The Miz. I think he's awesome. But it's Tommaso Ciampa, man.
So in this situation, okay, so for example, if it was Gargano, I could expect a straight up wrestling match, the one that we kind of saw here. This is Ciampa. You want ultra violence. He does something grotesquely violent to The Miz to kick things off and the match is over. That's kind of maybe how it should be.
That'd be ideal, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of wish he brought his crutch.
Yeah, that could have been cool too. I want to see that side of Ciampa, which
says,
we got a little glimpse of at the very, very end.
I know,
of the
we'll get to that
episode.
later. Because like we said, hey, I want you to make your statement. All right, crutch over the head.
Right.
Ring the bell, ref.
Yeah,
Fairy tale ending, done.
Yeah, boom, like that.
That doesn't do any damage to The Miz. He got hit with a crutch over the head.
At the same time, you pointed this out during the stream. The entire roster is on the tarmac, so we needed to stretch for time.
Exactly, so it makes sense in that respect. So early on, The Miz misses a wrecking ball drop kick, and then Ciampa just starts tossing him around the ringside area, in the barricade, in the ring, into the ring steps, and he starts patting himself on the back.
Yeah, that was great.
That stuff. Go to commercial, come back.
That's right, Jessamine Duke was Matt Riddle in the...
Oh, that's right.
While.
Come back from commercial, I believe. Miz has the upper hand until Ciampa hits a discus lariat, follows with the running knee in the corner. He goes for fairy tale ending. Miz escapes. Miz tries for a figure four. Ciampa pushes him off, but then Miz, oh man, knowing Ciampa probably has a bum knee, goes and hits the chop block. Ciampa fights it off enough to try to go for Project Ciampa. It's like the powerbomb backbreaker thing. Miz escapes, hits the DDT. That gets him a 2 count. Miz locks in the figure four. Ciampa reverses the pressure for a bit. Miz reverses the reversal of pressure, so the pressure's back on Ciampa now. Ciampa, though, can get to the ropes. That's broken up. Miz goes for another figure four. Ciampa pushes him off and then rolls him up, gets to 2. Ciampa locks in a single leg crab. Miz escape, rolls up Tommaso. Ciampa kicks out. In the end, though, Miz goes up top for a double axe handle. Ciampa hits him with his vicious running knee and follows with fairy tale ending for the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not quite the annihilation that we had hoped. Nonetheless, still a really fun match.
Miz has been around for 15 years. He probably deserves a little bit more respect than
obviously.
annihilation.
Same
But I like
time.
your crutch bit. The crutch bit's good. You can protect the Miz. He gets hit with the crutch.
Same time, he's been around 15 years. If he gets absolutely destroyed by Tommaso Ciampa, it is but a footnote in his career.
An asterisk.
So
yeah,
you can look at it from either way.
it's so much fun talking about something so cool.
I know. Next,
point that
man,
out here.
This is one of those moments that the little hairs raise on your arm. You get the goosebumps. So man. Daniel Bryan, he's walking around backstage. He runs the Triple H and HBK, and he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" Like he doesn't know that Triple H is COO of the company.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm sitting there watching Crown Jewel. You're watching Crown Jewel. HBK here is watching Crown Jewel.
First, Triple H goes, "Oh, I'm just visiting."
It's like, bro. And I see we're getting called out. It's going to be Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Survivor Series. That sounds like we're getting called out.
It seems like you guys want to fight.
So we're here. And Brian says, I'm always looking for a fight. How about you and me?
Oh, and they're
right
nose
now.
to nose.
They're nose to
And
nose.
you're thinking WrestleMania 30, the history between the two of them.
And while they're at it, Triple H starts to say, I didn't bring my gear. HBK starts to take off his track jacket, and I'm thinking to myself, student versus teacher, are we getting HBK versus Daniel Bryan on SmackDown tonight? Who would ever thought they'd wake up and see that? But no, HBK just said, oh man, it's cold in here. Let me put my jacket back on.
That was great.
So he was trolling. Triple H then says, Champ!
That was great.
And Adam Cole Baby walks into frame.
Oh, man.
He can't contain his giddiness.
I know.
And he's like, how about this? Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan issues the challenge.
Oh, sorry. Daniel Bryan says, how about it's for that NXT championship? And Triple H makes the match.
Yeah.
He says, is that okay with you, champ?
He goes, I'm always ready. Baby.
Oh.
Baby, baby, baby,
Oh,
baby,
man.
baby, baby. Next, Fire and Desire are supposed to take on Carmella and Dana Brooke. However, they didn't count for Bianca Belair. We come, what's the term? In media res?
In media res.
Bianca Belair has already destroyed Carmella to such an extent that she's like traumatized next to some road cases.
So this is the great thing. We get to Bianca Belair. She's annihilating Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
Right? We're in the middle of that. The camera sort of catches a little bit of Carmella, who's basically rolled up in
She's cowering.
She's cowering, kind of mid-fetal position, and she's like, It's not like she's nursing an injury.
No.
Whatever Bianca did to her is so psychologically overwhelming that she is just holding herself, cradling herself.
So
and then Bianca, she dispatches of Dana Brooke, turns her attention back to Carmella, deadlifts her, presses her, and then throws her behind some equipment cases.
Oh, that was great. And so Fire and Desire in the ring watch us in the Tron. They're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Those were our opponents.
Yeah.
Out walks Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox. Rhea says, oh, looks like you don't have any opponents.
I don't have any opponents.
Well, you do now.
Our guy just beat the crap out of.
Well, you do now.
Yeah.
And so we get Fire and Desire versus Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox.
Tegan Nox, by the way, Kane last night. She came out in the full mask and hair, but then unmasked and had the bald wig.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Oh,
it's even more than a taping at Full Sail. I really want to kind of go to a Halloween Battle Royal.
I know.
NXT Halloween
What do they call
Battle
it? The coconut loop?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
They call it the Florida Loop.
Fort
Myers?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think there's a Fort Myers in Florida.
Sounds like
they're in Largo tonight.
Okay, Largo. There's another one.
Yeah. Anyway, so the match is kind of divided up. You got Tegan and Sonya Deville brawling around the ringside, and then you got Rhea Ripley taking it to Mandy Rose in the ring. This match didn't last very long.
No, it did not.
So once Tegan dispatched Sonya Deville by tossing her over the announce table, she gets in the ring. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Hits the shiniest wizard on Mandy. Rhea follows that up with the reverse cloverleaf. Mandy taps pretty darn quickly.
Yeah, that was really quick, yeah.
And then we get our main event almost.
Mm-hmm.
So,
did we mention, by the way, Pat McAfee?
No.
At a certain point comes in.
Replaced Aiden English, yes.
And replaces Aiden
And he
English.
did a good job. Sometimes he's a bit much on the pre-show stuff.
I thought that he did such a great job on commentary. It made me want this dude on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
He's another guy who just don't give him.
Just let him do his job.
Just let him do his job, man. I mean, that's the great thing about. I mean, we see this on commentary so many other places that are not WWE. When you just let these guys do their jobs. I mean, still to this day, my favorite commentary team is probably Steve Corino and Kevin Kelly.
Oh man, they were so good
on New Japan commentary. Mm-hmm. And it's a pleasure because they get such a kick out of doing it.
Exactly.
And when you don't have somebody barking in your ear, you don't have to follow a script. These people can have such a good time doing it.
You got to trust people to do their job.
For sure, yeah. Pat McAfee was really fun.
Yeah,
tonight.
so about 6:25 our time. So it'd been 9:25 on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
They say next, main event. We're like, oh, they're giving us main event time, which is great because these guys are going to put on a classic. They're capable of it. So they come back from commercial. Triple H and HBK, they come down, sit ringside. And Stephanie comes out. I'm like, oh, is she going to be upset that Hunter brought NXT people to a main roster show?
Right.
Instead, she looks across, because she stands on the stage. She looks across through the ring ropes, waves at Triple H, her husband. I think she says, hi, babe, or something like that.
Kind of a cute moment there, yeah.
But it's at that point, plainly obvious there's not going to be any sort of inter-family tension between the McMahons, which is good because historically that's what they would have done.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm happy they didn't do it.
It's not going to be a McMahon in every corner.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Because I don't want that.
Hey, you know what I was thinking about today? This is kind of a tangent, but kind of not because we're doing the brand warfare thing. Why not introduce Bruce Pritchard as the executive director of SmackDown? If you think about it, all the Conrad guys are so over with the fans in terms of everybody. Look, everybody listens to the Pritchard podcast, the Shivani one, the Bischoff one.
Yeah. Arn Anderson one now.
You've got it works so well, I think, in terms of the fans at this point that are there, that love all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They know these guys. Pritchard's a guy who I think would be over with them.
Maybe.
And he doesn't it could be like a Regal thing. It doesn't have to be, but a Pritchard version of the Regal thing.
Yeah. It'd be like a full-time on-camera role,
Not the, getting involved in every
we don't
storyline,
want that.
dancing in your videos, rapping in your videos. Doesn't have to be all that.
No.
Come to Death Row.
So Stephanie's on the stage. She drops a promo about women's evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And throws to a video package about the crown jewel match between Lacey Evans, Natalya, the significance of it. And then we come back. Main event begins.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan's out first. Then Adam Cole. Man, how great is it to hear 10,000 people do the boom and the Adam Cole baby?
It was
all that
amazing.
Stuff, all that.
It was great. It's just sort of like a, whatever you want to call it, a litmus test or whatever for what kind of recognition is there. There's a lot. There's a ton.
Well, the ratings for NXT may not be that great. Good enough.
A couple people here in chat are saying apparently Meltzer, according to Dave Meltzer, Vince was there. He was in charge.
Yeah.
It's not surprising. That's not surprising. I mean, look, all the Kofi Mania stuff, pretty sure was all Vince.
Yeah.
He's capable
when
of doing
his hand is forced, he's capable of doing some good stuff from time to time.
And certain things sort of write themselves anyways.
Exactly. Like this, if you have NXT going to be involved in Survivor Series, you got to have an invasion. It just makes all the sense in the world.
It really is.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's not.
You give the people what they want, and they'll get excited about it.
Sometimes he tries to make it rocket science.
I know.
Yeah.
He gets to be, what's the phrase, too cute by half?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, he tends to do that. Anyway, so the match starts kind of technical to kick things off until Adam Cole's in the corner and Daniel Bryan slaps him right in the face. And Daniel Bryan did a great job talking all sorts of trash.
Oh, yeah. He
like,
doesn't belong in the ring with me.
Yeah, you think you deserve to be champ. You think you should be champ.
Tom Phillips said he is champ.
He is champ. And then Daniel Bryan has the upper hand for a bit until Adam Cole turns the tables. And then at one point, Daniel Bryan starts stomping at Adam Cole's arm. He's still got the cast on. That's this arm, actually, the right arm. He puts Adam Cole on a surfboard, transitions, I believe, to what's called the Romero Special, or something kind of close to it, where it's like the surfboard part of the lower body plus Dragon Sleeper up top. Maybe it's not a Romero Special. I don't know. Adam Cole fights out, and then Daniel Bryan follows that up with a knee to the face. Cole makes a bit of a comeback, hits a pump kick, gets a 2 count, goes for a suplex. Daniel Bryan blocks it, and then Daniel Bryan suplexes himself and Adam Cole out of the ring. And we go to commercial.
I love that spot.
Yeah, man.
I love that spot so much.
It's great. Come back from commercial. Adam Cole hits a neck breaker on Daniel Bryan. Only gets him a 2 count. Daniel Bryan backdrops Adam Cole out of the ring. Adam Cole's back hits the edge of the apron. Follows with a knee plus off the apron. Tosses Cole back in the ring. Hits a missile drop kick. Follows with a corner drop kick. Goes for a Frankensteiner. And so on the way down, rather than Adam Cole hitting flat back, he rolls through for a roll-up. That gets him a 2 count. He hits a pump kick. Adam Cole's got the best pump kick.
He does, yeah.
Gets a 2. Adam Cole goes for a last shot. Daniel Bryan escapes, tosses Cole from the ring, hits a suicide dive. Says one's not enough. Goes for another. Eats an enziguri. Another commercial break.
Well, the great thing about the suicide dives, too, is that it preceded Triple H and HBK sort of saw the writing on the wall there, and they beat feet, but you didn't see them leave their seats.
Yeah.
So Daniel Bryan does. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a Phoenix level suicide dive because nobody has one.
He had a lot of momentum.
He ended up landing in the chair that Triple H was sitting in.
It was pretty great. Where was back from commercial? Daniel Bryan's on the top turnbuckle. Cole knocks him off, so he's sitting on the top turnbuckle. He goes for a superplex. Daniel Bryan escapes and hit almost like how Drew McIntyre does the belly to belly?
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but a German suplex. It was a rough bump for Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Man, Adam Cole's tough.
He's double tough, man. Like triple tough.
Man. Daniel Bryan goes back up to top for a top rope headbutt. Cole rolls out of the way. He hits Last Shot 1.0, OG Last Shot. Only gets him a 2, though. And then he exposes the knee.
Mm-hmm.
Too early, though. He goes for Last Shot 2.0. Daniel Bryan catches him, single leg crab. Cole tries to get to the ropes. Bryan transitions to a heel hook. This is like the first instance, like, oh, Undisputed Era is coming out. This is when the beatdown begins.
Yeah.
This is when the invasion begins en masse. Instead, Adam Cole gets to the ropes. And then Daniel Bryan picks up Adam Cole, fireman's carry. Cole reverses it into a backstabber. I think he goes for the covered 2 count. Then Daniel Bryan locks in a yes lock. Cole escapes, but Daniel Bryan grabs his wrist and hit a bunch of Danielson stomps.
Yeah.
Right to the face.
Yeah.
And Adam Cole was throwing his body around this entire match.
Oh, the yes kick sell.
Later on, yeah. Another yes lock. Adam Cole tries to get to the rope. Daniel Bryan grabs his hand, and we got almost like a Rings of Saturn with twisting of the wrist going on. Eventually, Cole just sticks his foot out and gets in the bottom rope. Then the yes kicks.
And Cole is selling the crap.
Oh, he's
out
like
of these.
bumping the hell.
He's on his knees hitting the yes kicks, and he's just bumping.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Adam Cole ducks the last yes kick, rolls up Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan reverses his roll up to a roll up of his own, gets a 2. When Cole kicks out, Daniel Bryan pops right up, hits the final yes kick to the head. So Daniel Bryan's in the corner, setting up for a knee plus, runs towards him. Adam Cole, super kick.
And with just enough space to hit the super kick.
Yeah.
He hits it.
Follows with Panama Sunrise and hits the last shot.
That was so great. Hits that super kick, goes up to the top, and you're like, oh, man. He's hitting this Panama Sunrise, like you said. After that, hits that last shot. Here's the thing that I especially when he was setting up for the Panama Sunrise, I was thinking to myself, I know this crowd knows what's going on. I know this crowd knows it. But for other people to witness a Panama Sunrise, it's such a fun move. Mm-hmm. It's such an NXT move. And he hit it, and then last shot, clean victory. Nobody in that ring was happier than Daniel Bryan.
Oh, I know.
Nobody was happier because he knows. He knows.
He knows for sure.
Oh man, I'm still over the Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole in the main event
for the NXT title.
For the NXT title, we saw that tonight on SmackDown on Fox.
Something else. So the first person down the ring to celebrate with Adam Cole, Roddy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then the rest of the NXT talents joined in. They're all in the ring. Triple H gets the mic, gets in the ring, and says, "You want to pick a fight with NXT, huh? Well, for a fight, you need to build an army."
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't thought about this, but on Twitter I read this and I remembered after I read this, referencing when he kind of reformed DX after WrestleMania 14. Yeah. Says you need your blood. Gives Shawn a 2 sweet.
I love that Shawn Michaels was just sitting up on one of the
turnbuckles. Yeah,
sort of overseeing it.
I know. And he says, and you need your family. He says they fired. He says, this is my blood. This is my family. They've just fired the first shot. Raw and SmackDown, what do you got? Remember one thing, though. We are NXT.
This can do nothing but amazing things for NXT.
One would hope.
For NXT's ratings. I mean, I would be shocked if it didn't bump up. I mean, at least for the World Series and an extra bump for an Invasion.
Yeah, you would hope.
That could be great. Another thing that you sort of notice also, and we had mentioned this on the stream, and we'll probably scrap it at this point, although there's some good ideas in there, because I do think NXT's ratings are going to get a boost from this. If this doesn't do it, it's hard to think that anything would.
Yeah,
I think there are some little things that they could do. One of the bigger things that they could do, but we were working on a video essay about things that that WWE could do right now to boost their ratings and improve their standing against AEW. I'm not sure if they can necessarily, get head-to-head with AEW, but at least put on a better showing. And one of those things was invade Raw or invade main roster. I mentioned specifically Raw because they're on USA, but SmackDown will do fine. With this Survivor Series thing, to put NXT in the same light as main roster is such a smart move.
Yep.
To get the idea that Seth Rollins could show up on NXT and challenge Adam Cole is such a great idea.
And it would be great now, especially if Seth Rollins is out of the title picture.
Right. It'd be the perfect move. Everybody would want that. And I think including Seth Rollins most of all.
Yeah.
Because you think Seth Rollins isn't going to watch this match once he gets home. Isn't going to watch this match. I mean, it's possible they got Wi-Fi in that plane.
Well, he could have been one of the 12 that got on the other.
That's possible too.
I think there was Roman was on there. The New Day, Revival.
I thought Bray was on there.
Yeah, Bray. I think everybody they were trying to get in
Yeah.
time for SmackDown was there. I don't think Seth was on it, though.
But Seth's going to watch this match, and he's going to be like, man, well, I want in on this. I want in on even Seth versus like Roderick Strong or something,
Hold on. There's one thing we got to mention. When all the NXT talents are in the ring to close the
this
show.
was great. This was great.
So Adam Cole's still trying to sell the match. At one point, he kind of takes a knee. And everybody's got a smile on their face, very happy. What's Tommaso Ciampa? He's on the wings. He's on the edges. He's not looking at Adam Cole. He's not looking at anybody in the crowd. What's he looking at?
He's looking at Goldie.
Looking at Goldie the whole time.
He's looking at the title.
He's like, I'm here because NXT's cool and all.
He's keeping a kayfabe.
That's what I want.
He's keeping a kayfabe. He's
Gosh.
about brand warfare, but he's about Goldie.
That was damn good.
And you could tell he made it obvious. In his own subtle way, it was obvious. It was terrific. It was it was
so
great.
good.
Other names that are in that ring, of course, obviously, like we already mentioned, as Lady Fortune mentioned, NXT has a live show tonight.
Yeah.
But Swerve
was there.
Isaiah Scott.
Raul Mendoza, who's on 205 tonight.
Leo Rush
was there. Dakota Kai was there.
Dakota Kai was there.
I think anybody else who wasn't involved in an angle or match that I recalled being out there. I think otherwise it was everybody else that was just involved in other things.
Yeah. But no, it was absolutely just a terrific Survivor Series. Should be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to this next 3 weeks,
month or so.
of
3 weeks
programming, and to see what it can do with NXT. Another point I wanted to bring up too was one of the ideas that we had for how to boost ratings also was taking NXT on the road. This is something that Dave Meltzer, I think, had mentioned has been in the plans for a little while.
Yeah, we might see next year.
That we might see soon. And we got to see what a bigger – look, we've seen this with TakeOver. We know what it looks like. Mm-hmm. But if they're going to add a little bit more production to it, which is something that AEW has in tons of production.
Yeah.
Give NXT a big set, a big stage, something big. This is what it looks like in front of a big crowd. Like I said, we've got this with TakeOver, but it's always fun to see that on a bigger stage.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see, too, if this is presented as Raw SmackDown versus NXT or Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Because the way Triple H kind of framed it, it was NXT is coming after main roster.
Well, I'd love to see, because you can get into some really fun, and granted, there's only a couple weeks of this, but you can get into some really fun, SmackDown should be invading NXT at this point, but Raw needs to be also invading in their way, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting how they
But if they
frame
do Raw and SmackDown versus NXT, that's the way to get around the whole Raw versus SmackDown brand warfare thing with the different network partners and stuff.
That's true. That's
that
totally
might be their
true.
workaround.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Let's take some questions. But before, we got a new member of Slow Wolf Pack, Brandon Lutreris. Thank you very much.
So check it out. We've got YouTube channel memberships, which we refer to as the Slow Wolf Pack. Mm-hmm. You get access to the Discord. You get access to bonus episodes that we do.
5 a week, yeah.
5 of them a week.
You get badges, you get emotes.
If you enjoy participating in these live streams, badges and emotes as well, all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of good stuff. Nikyle says, I think we read this earlier, but it was worth mentioning again. Check WWE's Twitter. Somehow people hated this episode. We're willing to revisit that. Steve got all fired up.
But says, you think tonight could lead to a call-up? Personally, I think Cole showed he could be a top guy tonight. I think they need to focus on making, number one, I'm fine retiring the idea of a call-up.
Exactly.
I want to see NXT become its own brand.
Especially if the idea is to make it a touring brand and a third brand on par with Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
You have to dispel your notion, the idea of a call-up.
Yes.
It's all drafting and trades and stuff at this juncture.
The call-ups that I would prefer to see at this point is you look 2 years down the line or a year down the line, they need to take NXT on the road, establish that as a third brand. Back at Full Sail, show us the developmental guys. Get some cameras there on the Coconut Loop, whatever they call it, the Florida House Show Loop. Mm-hmm. And then I want to see call-ups to NXT or to Raw or to SmackDown.
That's also, you got NXT UK. Obviously, that's a feeder system for NXT.
And, of course, NXT UK as well.
And it seemed like even kind of 205 Live's that too.
Sure, yeah. Those are the call-ups that I want to see.
Biff Top Johnny, does this mean SmackDown and Raw will now invade NXT? If they're going to want to tell a good story, then yes.
Mm-hmm. Austin 6D Scrabble Champ says, checking Twitter, and I can say the majority enjoyed this show. One complaint I saw was that NXT buried SmackDown talent. That's how it needs to be.
Yeah.
They have to be out there to prove a
They have
point.
to be on equal footing.
And one of the stories you can kind of tell is Maine is complacent, NXT is hungry.
Yep.
I think that's a terrific story to tell.
Marcus Harrison says Steve is going to fight the internet. He's fired up, man.
Fired up, and I love it.
Denton Watkins, what happens if this episode is the highest rate over the next month? What does Vince think? Well, he was involved in it probably, so he's probably thinking this.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, well, yeah, that's going to, how do we keep it going?
I know. Under pressure, I'm at my best.
Yeah, exactly. Have people get stuck on tarmacs
I'll randomly cancel all sorts of flights.
And Greg Morris. How in kayfabe does NXT get past security on Raw? Well, they got Triple H.
Yeah.
I mean, Triple H in kayfabe is still like an authority.
Yeah, he's still
figure.
like CEO or whatever. The Matt Starr, what matches do you want to see at Survivor Series? Not the matches that will happen, but what you want to see. Cheers.
Oh, man. What matches do you want to see at Survivor Series? I mean, like Gargano versus Seth. You know, who would want to see that?
Or Gargano versus Daniel Bryan. I know Daniel Bryan's been angling for that
Yeah,
match.
now that we've seen it. Yeah, Adam Cole versus Seth and Gargano versus Daniel Bryan. I mean, obviously.
Adam Cole versus AJ.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrific.
I mean, the possibility there for Survivor Series to just be top to bottom awesome matches if they like tonight.
Goldberg versus Matt Riddle.
Yes. Like the main event was basically a takeover level match.
Yeah, sure.
Just let them have that level of matches
right.
across the board.
Yeah.
You want to get people excited about WB programming again? That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. And
then carry that over to Raw and SmackDown on a weekly basis.
You have the opportunity here to reboot your entire booking philosophy.
Take advantage.
Across brands, take advantage. We want dream matches, dream feuds, dream scenarios.
Give people a reason to get excited about your product.
Yeah.
Dr. Bartholomew von Flavin.
That's one thing. Sorry, that's one thing that, according to Eric Bischoff, Vince McMahon asked him his opinion on AEW the first night. And he said what gripped him most, what struck him most, was the engagement of their fans to their product. That's something that WWE lacks, and that's something they need, and it's something that they could easily get.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Yes. Dr. Bartholomew von Flavenstein. Funny, Vince isn't there, and the show is good. He was there.
Apparently Vince was there.
W.S. Fletcher, this is strictly for the Suge Knight reference. You guys never cease to surprise me.
You know, man, growing up in the 90s was probably the best thing.
It was pretty much the best.
Growing up in the 60s would have been very interesting. Growing up in the 90s, nothing beat that.
No.
Who wouldn't have wanted to be a fly on the wall at the Source Awards?
I know. I know.
Right?
I know.
I listened to that first episode of the new Slow Burn.
Oh, how is it?
Very good.
I'll have to check it out.
Very good. But it was also kind of illustrative of the fact that I could be wrong, but that USA Network show probably got things pretty right.
Yeah.
You know, it was a really long series, and they dived into a lot of detail.
That's cool.
I think it was based on a book that was pretty exhaustive. I'm sure they took plenty of creative liberties.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it was very interesting.
No,
The first episode, I was sad it was only a half hour.
Yeah.
That was your problem with the first season, was that you thought it wasn't as exhaustive as it should have been with the Nixon stuff.
Yeah, I felt like that was very surface level with the Watergate stuff. Like they could have, dived far deeper than what they did.
I get the feeling, but there was some very interesting tidbits.
But the second season is about Clinton Lewinsky affair, and that's pretty exhaustive.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I'll check that out. Maybe I'll check it out.
Jacksonville's
number one.
Guion Halili watching SmackDown a bit. What should I expect? It's a good show.
Yeah, man.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, you'll no matter how hard we pump it up, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Yeah, it was fun. Anthony Flores, what are some tarmac level scenarios that members of Vince's inner circle could set up to bring out the best in him?
Well, they had, what was it, like the measles or the mumps or something before? The mumps. So some other sort of viral infection.
So someone like a producer or something's like, oh, here's what we can do. I have a pet rat.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some fleas on there. Guess what these fleas have?
Plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let it loose backstage. Plague now is easily curable. I think it's just antibiotics.
Yeah, yeah. But it sounds really bad.
It sounds horrible. Oh, there's been a plague outbreak backstage at WWE. Oh, no.
That's good, yeah.
We have to, our hands are forced. We have to make some drastic creative changes. Well, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Who wants to pull all-nighter with Vince?
How about a shoot mystery attacker?
Oh, there you go.
Not like a kayfabe mystery attack or a
yeah.
shoot one, like a Tanya Harding type situation. What was that guy, Jeff Gillooly?
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Are you on the Patreon yet?
I am not. I was just doing super chats.
All right, I'm going to hit the YouTube channel members and get the Patreons up too.
Yeah, I'll get the patrons up as well.
All right, cool. Let's see here. Not a ton of them. Let's see here. Villain Alan Black. With the episode of SmackDown being as good as it was tonight, do you think they're going to be pressured by USA Network to produce the same results on Raw? I'd be surprised if the network executives were pressuring week to week. They would probably say, hey, things are trending a certain way. What can we do to help trend them back up and take a long-term approach?
Thayer Thabata, if Triple H keeps putting shows together like this, will this help speed his takeover of WWE? No. Vince is still involved. Vince will take his portion of the credit.
Well, yeah. So look, it wouldn't surprise me if Triple H had a heavy hand, given that he is Mr. NXT. From what I understand, the way Triple H is sort of outlined, because people have directly asked him, I forget which interview it was, maybe it was the Alex McCarthy one, about the whole, hey, why didn't you become executive director of Raw?
Yeah.
And Triple H's answer was simple and it seemed pretty obvious when he said it. He says, what I do here has a wider scope than focusing on a show.
Unless that a show is NXT.
Right. And it kind of felt like, well, being executive director of Raw is kind of beneath him. He has a much wider scope. I mean, he was one of the key players in the whole Ronda Rousey thing as well. That dude is a busy guy, and running Raw to his schedule is kind of beneath him. So I don't know that, at some point it wouldn't surprise me if the entirety of creative was handed over to him once Vince literally doesn't want to do it anymore. Triple H will probably step into Vince's role. Vince would probably appreciate if Heyman, but I think Vince is just Vince, and he's got the final say on stuff.
Yeah, Lady Fortune makes a good point. It's funny to imagine Street Profits and War Raiders having to fight their old friends. See, that's the dynamic that I like. That stories they could tell right there.
I know, because they can take beats and say, okay, well, Street Profits, you're going to have to fight your old friends. Hey, we're Raw now.
Yeah.
We're Raw.
Yeah.
And there's a pride in that.
Yeah.
We worked really hard to get here, especially Dawkins. It took 7 years.
Yeah.
This is our team now, and we're going to fight you guys. Get to our point, and then you'll do the same. Brandon, how clutch was this SmackDown main event? It was all the clutch.
It was all the clutch. Wolfpack for life. What's been the best WWE Force last-minute booking decision?
I mean, Bell or AJ's got to be up there.
That's definitely up there. I know there are some that I'm just not thinking of because it's sort of on the spot right now, but that'd make for a hell of a list.
Yeah, it would.
Jonah, how would you book Daniel Bryan if he would have won the title?
I mean, there's really no wrong way to go. I think if Daniel Bryan somehow won the title, it'd been great too. That'd been something else. Daniel Bryan in NXT, forced to fight for NXT when he obviously isn't necessarily keen on them showing up on his show.
There are two names that I could think of that would fit in so perfect with NXT, and it's Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. They would completely and totally fit in perfectly with NXT. I would love to see, especially, Daniel Bryan was like one of the first big guys or big names to be in the very first season of NXT.
Show NXT. That being said, Adam Cole totally had to win the match. Charles Hubbard, who would you like to see invade NXT from Raw or SmackDown?
Well, from Raw, it's got to be
AJ.
Seth. It's number one, it's Seth. It's got to be Seth. AJ, absolutely. AJ comes out to try to congratulate Finn Balor. Finn Balor lays him out. I know they want Finn to be a bad guy right now, but, you do that. And then he's the guy that he grabs and he puts the gun fingers to the head,
Great.
And then the OC tries to get involved. Maybe AOP comes out and lay out the OC in their NXT. I don't know, something like that.
Jurgens, Johnson, and Johnson, was that a great show, or does WWE just get rewarded when they actually do things somewhat remotely? Kind of, maybe you're right. No, it was actually a good show, but also at a certain point, sometimes the bar is set at a low enough level that competence seems like excellence.
I could see that as a point, but look, even on paper, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, main eventing SmackDown for the NXT Championship. That alone right there is just a dream match scenario that we never thought we'd see. And why is it a dream match scenario? Because of what we saw tonight. They gave that 30 minutes. I mean, with entrances.
Yeah.
And commercials.
Yeah, roughly.
That was a killer takeover level match.
Yeah. Brian Randall, do you see a negative in what they did with the Invasion tonight? No. Even if NXT doesn't win out at or even have that strong of a showing at Survivor Series, at the lead up to it is them more or less dominating.
Yeah. This was killer. Yeah. This was absolutely killer.
I mean, if the goal of this is to raise the profile of NXT, this is the hell of a way to start that.
That's how you do it. I mean, look, the other day, so if you watched we watched the Who Won Wednesday or our NXT recap, it could have been easy to have just appreciated the fact that Finn's a heel and looked at his promo and been like, oh no, it was awesome. But we called it what it was. It was underwhelming.
Yeah, it was kind of so-so.
But that's the kind of thing that, hey, shouldn't WWE get points just for him being a heel? Well, no, we called it like it was. It was a bit underwhelming. It wasn't what we had hoped it would be.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like we call it how it is. Mm-hmm. We do our best to call it how it is. Yeah. Tonight was rad.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Tonight was absolutely rad.
It was pretty fun. War Machine MJ, if the Revival left WWE tomorrow, would you guys prefer to see them go to AEW or NWA? I think they'd be a good fit on Power, especially since their biggest fan, Jim Cornette, is there.
Look, as much as I love NWA, in the end, I would absolutely love to see them go to AEW.
Heck yeah, man.
You see the emphasis they place on tag teams there. As much as I'd love to see them be some sort of revolutionary force in WWE and getting the tag team division to main event WWE products, let them go to AEW. I want to see the dream matches now. Mm-hmm. I think that between now and them and their contract coming up, we'll have seen all the matches. We've seen them versus the New Day. We've seen all their great work in NXT against AOP, DIY.
Yeah.
We've seen everything that they could do. We haven't seen them against Undisputed Era Redragon. We'll probably see that at Survivor Series.
Or Street Profits.
Or sometime between now and then. Or, Street Profits.
Or War Raiders.
But I want to see them against the Young Bucks.
Hell yeah.
That's been for years
against
now.
Against XLAX.
Yeah, that's been for years now.
Against Best Friends. James Rodriguez, do you think we will see NXT UK also get involved at some point before Survivor Series? Would it make more sense to do Raw and SmackDown versus NXT and NXT UK?
No. I don't see that happening.
But get Walter there against Brock.
That is the one thing that would be absolutely terrific.
Heck yes.
I agree with that.
Heck yes.
That'd be great.
Heck yes. Shadow Ace was at the show live in Buffalo. The show was amazing other than the Lesnar stuff. Yeah, that kind of felt like something they just had to get out of the way. They probably knew, well, this is going to... People are going to be really excited about all this, so let's get this Lesnar thing out of the way and just move on to what people are going to get excited
Here's
about.
my question. I don't think anybody asked this question. I'm surprised. Did Matt Riddle backstage have any encounter with Brock Lesnar?
I imagine Brock showed up, went right to his locker room, did a segment. As soon as the segment was over, he was out of there.
You're probably right.
Probably not.
Probably never saw him.
I feel like Goldberg is probably the type of guy that's cool to hang out with backstage. Like he'll hang around backstage for the duration of the show.
Goldberg likes socializing.
It seems like
I think Goldberg enjoys. I think he's a people person.
Yes.
Brock Lesnar is not at all a people person.
No.
Greg Morris, is Johnny Gargano stronger than Bryan? It took 92 finishers to beat Johnny Gargano.
Apparently.
Johnny
Gargano. Is that a takeover? So maybe Gargano is like super leveled up at takeovers.
Yeah. I'll say this was. I can't lie. I'm not sure this was a takeover. I'm not sure if this is a takeover. Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole might have been a bit more than it was tonight. I can't call it a takeover
Hold
match.
on. I didn't say takeover main event.
I did.
Match.
I called it a takeover level match.
I did too, but I'm just saying there's a difference between a takeover level match because the main events are usually something else entirely.
Yeah, that's true.
I think if this was second on the card at takeover, it would fit right in.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what happened during those commercial breaks.
Maybe, but these days, you know what's second on the card at takeover is freaking Roderick Strong, Velveteen Dream bangers.
This was a great match too.
This is a great match, but man,
we didn't get to see what happened during the commercial breaks. They could have really done some crazy stuff in those commercial breaks. Yeah. We don't know. We'll never know.
This is probably the best SmackDown main event that we're ever going to get
in a long time. Yeah,
but takeovers are next level.
Ricardo,
this is like a G1 match. Not the best G1 match.
Yeah.
It was a G1 match, but takeovers are something else.
Ricardo Lopez Ortiz, you think the extended Lesnar stuff in the beginning was to allow the NXT escort to get to the building? Entirely possible.
Very possible.
I mean, that's why they threw to all the video. Could be.
Yeah.
It's like we need to fill some time. So
Must have been electric backstage. That adrenaline had to be pumping with everybody.
Oh yeah.
Because what was the? Let me look at the notes again. What was the second thing that? Let's see. It was Lesnar.
After that was the Bayley and Nikki Cross match.
Okay, and then Shayna. Yeah, you're probably right. She probably ran right.
Got out of the SUV that picked her up at the airport. And
Yep.
whoop. Probably ran Triple H. What am I doing? Okay, right in the ring.
Another question I have though is Triple H going to be taking any Triple H pictures with people backstage? Yeah, is there any precedent for an invasion type thing?
What they need to do is get everybody that was there tonight and Photoshop a Triple H like this next to each and every one of them.
That's right. Oh man, Brian Milhorn, do you think with the right build that this year's Survivor Series could be one of the best we've had so far? Absolutely. I think
that is an important caveat though. With the right build,
if they're able to tarmac everybody in the right ratio from now till Survivor Series, is gonna be a great build.
Yeah,
they got to tarmac a lot of people though.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Shadow Ace, during the commercials, they did not let up at all. It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Our correspondent from the show tonight says,
man, killer. Yeah.
They went full throttle the whole time.
That crowd
no rest holds.
That crowd was lucky. That's for sure. That is definitely for sure. Anyways, it's Friday night. We want to go hang out with our families. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I forgot to mention this really quick before we go off the air. I'll mention it again on Monday. Timothy Rice, new patron. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks to all the new channel members for your support. We really do appreciate it. And thanks to everybody. Earlier today, we had just a killer live stream for the Extra Life stuff. That is available right now on demand at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/.
If you're feeling generous and want to donate, you can still hit that link.
All weekend.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.